Well, hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 2 of our live challenge workshop. Yesterday we talked about, and we really hopped into and went a little deep on what's in it for you to do a challenge. What the heck is a challenge? Why would you want to do one? And why are you uniquely qualified to do a challenge? And I invite you to, if you didn't do it yesterday, sit down and spend a few minutes thinking about all of the challenges that you have faced and dealt with and overcome in your life to be sitting here listening to me now. If I think about the challenges I've done, one of my favorite exercises is to do like a life analysis or a life regression or a life map, and you map out the highs and the lows of the experiences that you've had, because for the most part that's all we remember, right? If we're looking at the past or we're looking at our current situation, we're really only paying attention to the things that get our attention, and the things that get our attention are the highs, the things that went really, really well, or the lows, the events that change our life and have changed my life the most have been those lows. And I hate to admit it, but when I feel pain, when I feel a challenge, when I feel something that's gonna make me change or cause me to take action, it's always because of a painful thing, a painful experience, or something that threw me so far out of my comfort zone that I had to take action. I had to react to it. I had to do something. And I suspect if you look back, you will find that the same is probably true for you. Today we're going to talk about the #1 way to get what you want, the #1 strategy to get what you want in days instead of years. And you might think I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding at all. I have been able to accomplish some things that would blow people's minds if they knew how quickly I actually was able to do things. Some of the things that I've done and I've had and helped other people do are things that take most people years to accomplish, but they've accomplished in literally days. Like, we do 90-day pushes all the time, and in 90 days you can actually do as much and sometimes much more than other people, than regular people and ordinary people that are just plugging away with their normal regular life and not focusing their energy. It takes them an entire year, if not longer, to accomplish. We've made huge changes in waste, the amount of waste, and I'm talking $500,000 a month of savings, because we eliminated the waste and scrap. It's called scrap in manufacturing, from one organization. Another organization, we quadrupled sales in a 90-day period, or short period of time, because we did a challenge. We challenged all of the salespeople to do things a little bit differently, and by doing that we ended up having a contest and quadrupled sales. And in my own life, I've been able to accomplish things that I didn't even think were possible. I recently did a 90-day blood pressure reducing challenge, and over the holidays everybody was getting this flu, and they were going to the doctor and they were finding out that their blood pressure was through the roof with this flu. And I was able to get my blood pressure not only in the normal range and keep it there, but throughout this same exact flu, my blood pressure was lower than it's been in decades since before my sudden cardiac arrest. So we can accomplish incredible things when we believe that we can. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at, I'm going to sneak a peek at the workbook, and I am not set up on my normal system because I don't have any technological help throughout the challenge, given that we are all social distancing, because we are all, as a world, facing an incredible challenge right now. This coronavirus has thrown, I don't know a single person that it hasn't dramatically impacted. It's thrown us all for a loop. And so today, as part of my dealing with that, I've actually got my 4-year-old granddaughter laying on the bed and playing with her tablet. She informed me it's not a computer, it's a tablet. Playing with her tablet while I do this today. But I knew she was coming and going to stay overnight because we're having a grandma sleepover. So I broke this section into 2 parts. Excuse my scratchy throat. And I recorded the first part when I did my other videos this morning. I record and publish every single morning, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now, but every single morning without fail for I think 786 days in a row, I have done my videos. Now I will admit that 2 days this past winter I had the flu and I couldn't even get out of bed, much less do anything. That's the only time I missed doing my my video of documenting my journey of my transition from the offline brick and mortar world to the online world. But sometimes we have faced challenges and we have to be flexible enough to to do things differently. So today what I did is I broke this section into 2 parts. We're going to talk now, really this part should have come first, and the part about what's in it for them, what's in it for people to do a challenge with you, is really the second part. But I recorded that first because I knew it would be a little bit longer. I think it's probably maybe 20 minutes, 19, 20 minutes. So just so you know, and have been warned that that one's a little bit longer. And I will keep this quick and fast because yesterday, 44 minutes, I didn't realize I was talking that long. I like to keep it under a half an hour for sure because I want to be cognizant of your time and your limited resources. And time is, even though some other things are feeling like more limited resources right now, time is always our most limited and most precious resource. So, what is the way to make sure that you can get those kinds of results for yourself? Results in a really condensed, shorter period of time than in a long period of time. And that you can do that a couple of different ways. But of course, challenges, since we're having a live challenge workshop, the answer is challenges. Challenges are the way to accomplish those things faster and easier than most people even realize is possible, right? Everybody thinks that challenges are super duper hard, and doing challenges for other people are even harder. And what I've come to discover is it's just as easy to do challenges, and actually easier to do challenges with other people than to do them by myself. By myself, I can do them and I can get results, but when I do them with other people, the accountability and the camaraderie and the sense of community just catapults me, because we all have a little bit of a competitive spirit, and we all want to know that if somebody is doing the same thing we are, if we're all trying to work toward the same result, we get this kind of friendly camaraderie going on to really help and push one another along to keep going and to really put forth our best effort and do the best that we can. I remember the very first Facebook Live challenge that I did, and I have to thank Mark Nelson for this. He's actually, I see that now he's a member of the ClickFunnels community. I don't even remember how we ended up becoming Facebook friends, but we were Facebook friends, and it was early on as I was transitioning from the offline world of corporate America and brick and mortar, lots of different businesses. So I had lots of confidence in real businesses, but I didn't have very much confidence in showing up on a video. I'd never done video before. I'd done lots of speaking things in corporate America and speaking in front of big groups, but I'd never, those you got to practice and use PowerPoints and everything else. So I thought, well, that's cool, I can do that. But when it came to being told that you have to publish, you got to get out there, you got to do Facebook Lives, or you have to do some kind of video, YouTube Live or whatever, Instagram stories now are pretty popular. Instagram Live, Instagram's got their own section, and even LinkedIn does now, but all the different platforms are getting it. But back then I was like, I am not doing this, I'm scared to death. Remember, my very first video was with a beaver puppet I can see sitting over there that I named Betsy after my youngest sister. It's just really weird, but it starts with B, right? And so Betsy the beaver and I did our very first video, and I believe it was a testimonial thing for Jim Edwards. If you know who Jim Edwards is, incredible unicorn of an online marketer who's been around. He's the person that I've, I guess, followed and known the longest online. And I could probably credit him for getting me involved in this whole online game. So I was scared to do videos, and Mark Nelson posted a challenge, I don't even think it was a 5-day challenge. I think it was a 3-day challenge to do Facebook Lives. So he had a pretty good sized group then, and I thought, well, I'll do this. So I made my little video, and I don't even know if that wasn't with Betsy the beaver, but that one I did by myself. So that was probably the very first video that I had my face up there and I did by myself. I don't even remember. We probably just had to introduce ourselves or something. So I did it, posted it in his group, and of course, no one else did it. No, not another single person out of all the people he had signed up did the homework and did a video and posted it like he had asked us to. So he's making this big deal of it, and I'm like, oh my God, now I'm gonna have to do the rest of it. Because I was thinking after the one, I was so scared and I thought it was so terrible that I was gonna quit and I wasn't gonna do anymore. Well, then after he made such a big deal out of it, then I felt like peer pressured, because even though people weren't participating, I knew they were watching, because they were watching his, presentation of this is what you're gonna do and this is how you're gonna do it and this is why you're gonna do it. So I knew there were people watching even though they weren't doing the homework. So that got me to actually do all 3 days, and I think it was 3 days of his challenge and post my videos. And again, I think I was the only one that did it through the whole thing. But guess what? Doing that, and no matter how bad they were, I'm sure they're probably out there in the internet world somewhere, and I don't want to go see them, but no matter how bad they were, it got me over my fear of doing it. I did the Facebook Live because of the challenge, and I didn't die. To date, I've done thousands and thousands of live videos. I've kind of lost count. On my podcast alone, I think I've got 2,700, 2,800 that were turned from videos to podcasts. I stripped the sound out, and that's how I create my podcast, is out of live videos. I think I've mentioned I'm visually challenged, not just a little, but a lot visually challenged. So I have to do what works for me. And that's one of the things that I've done. So because of one little challenge, I have gone on to create thousands and thousands of videos, and and then podcasts as well. And the podcasts actually have more downloads than my videos do. I don't really track that. I probably should, but I don't do it for the numbers. I don't do it for any fame or whatever you'd be looking for, influence. I do it because it's good for me, and it's good for me to share with other people and to give as much value as I can. So that's an example of a personal account with a challenge of something I was scared to do, but because I took action and did it the first day, then I kind of got, that's the power of the doing it with other people, is I got kind of sucked in and pulled in to doing it throughout the whole challenge. And once I did that, it was history. And I got hooked on challenges, doing other people's challenges. And I'm like, well, geez, if other people can do challenges, I can do them. And I had done challenges not involving video at all, lots of them for myself and for other people. I just hadn't done them on purpose for other people. And I thought, well, geez, I should do them with respect to video. But after doing Mark's, I was like, okay, I guess I can do video challenges for people. And what I discovered is, and we'll talk about this tomorrow when we go through the challenge framework, it is a lot easier to do Facebook Live videos than it is to do any other format. To me, given my set of circumstances, it's a lot easier. So what's the most common mistake that people that are doing challenges make? What is the most common mistake that all business owners make? And I was guilty of this in the offline world as well as in the online world, but it really came to light as a problem area for me personally in the online world, where there is so much competition and so much noise, and you have to break through that noise. You have to find your people through that noise, or you will get lost and frustrated, and you'll go down all kinds of different rabbit holes, and you'll end up quitting and leaving people that need you hanging because you didn't move forward and do what it was that you were going to do in your challenge or in your business and in your online life. And that, of course, is not picking your customer, not deciding who you're going to serve. Big companies like Coca-Cola and Apple and utilities and cell phone companies, they can market to everybody and sell to everybody. The rest of us, we need to pick an audience. We need to decide who we want to, number one, who we want to work with. I learned this in the offline world in a really big way. In my Italian food business, which we had for 35 years, we had one particularly very large customer that was terrible to work with. I mean, terrible to work with. It was a great company, but it had been purchased by another company. And once they were purchased by the second company, the whole personality of the organization changed. And they went from being our best customer to our actual worst customer from a employee handling standpoint, from a paying and things standpoint. And they just became a huge weight on us and on our business. And that's where I got the taste of what it's like to deal with people that are not your ideal customer, that don't match with your core values and with your beliefs and the way you want to run your business. And the cool thing about having your own business and creating your own business in your own life is you get to work with who you want to. You get to pick and choose and let the people who resonate and can relate to you pick and choose to work with you. So, as hard as it is, I am challenging you right now, right this minute, and in the comments below, to decide who are you going to do a challenge for. Who are you going to serve with your challenge? Because your homework today is going to be to share who that who is, and then it'll go to part 2 where you're going to go through all of the reasons that someone would want to do a challenge with you, and then you're going to share the 3 reasons that somebody should do a challenge with you, why you are the person to lead them, and why they would want to, and what they're going to benefit most from. I would, as extra credit, like you to share the result that you're going to get people. What's your challenge going to be? What's it going to be about? You know, maybe you're everything's in such an upheaval. I feel like the examples I usually use are so trite right now. But let's say that you are an accountant, or you're looking for an accountant. Say you're a small business owner, and one of the functions that you want to outsource, and you've said, and you know that your audience is struggling with building a team and adding a team. And I will say that the first function that I outsourced in my businesses was always accounting. And it's hard. It's a hard thing to do, because once you form a relationship with an accountant, you kind of feel like you're stuck for life, because they've got all your finances, all your information, all of your everything, all of your most important information. And so that would be a great challenge for somebody that deals with or coaches small business owners or people that are looking to grow in their business, is to do a find an accountant in 5 days challenge or something. Because that would solve a problem for people. Hey, I need a team member, I need to outsource some of this. What is one of the functions I should outsource first? And if you have a brick and mortar, real business, accounting is a good one to do. Online, maybe it's your target audience, one of their biggest pain points and problems is that they need more customers. So then you can do a 5-day, get more customers challenge, or fill your calendar challenge, or whatever you want to call it. But you have to decide who you're going to serve, what their biggest problems, challenges, obstacles, and things that they face are, and then how you are uniquely qualified to help them get a result in that area. Decide what result you're going to get them, and then go through part 2 of the recording and listen to that. And otherwise you can brainstorm your own list, but that's my brainstorm list, and that's the one I share, of all the different benefits and what's in it for them. WIIFT. We did WIIFU yesterday, because what's in it for you. Today we're going to do what's in it for the people that you serve. If you're having a hard time identifying your ideal customer, in the workbook, in the worksheets, there are 3 resources, and I've used 2 of the 3, and they're excellent in helping you identify clearly in your mind who it is that you serve. If you're new to business and you don't have customers yet, that's your starting point. Who do you want to serve? And if you do have customers, just think about a customer that you love, your favorite customer. For me, it was easy when I was doing this, because I wanted to serve my favorite type customers. I wanted more of her. So I just thought of the person that was actually my favorite customer, and I used her to help me design an entire women's summit, and then a 30-day customer getting challenge after that women's summit. Because the summit, when I did research and worked with business women, they said, and I agree, that they wanted to know how to get more customers. So we did the challenge. We did the 5-day summit. Actually, it was a 3-day summit. We did a 3-day summit with 30 different speakers, and then we transitioned that and transitioned them into a 30-day customer getting challenge. And the results from that were phenomenal. Women got more customers coming to their business in 30 days than they had in the last year or 2 years. And so it was really, really powerful. So that's it. That's our assignment today. That's our discussion for today. I'm just quick looking at the notes. I do see on the worksheet that I've got a spreadsheet that I will get. I'll change that into a Google Doc if anybody wants, because to me, Google documents work really, really well, and Excel spreadsheets, but it's just in there. But it's basically identify who you're targeting. What are their pain points? What are their desires? What are their problems, concerns, challenges, results that they want? And if you know a result that they want, and you know that you've got a system that can get it for them, it is a no-brainer to turn that into a challenge. Now, I am going to offer up my services in terms of, in the comments below, if you're in a business, and especially now, if you're in a business and you're saying, I don't freaking see how doing a challenge is going to help me, put your business type in the comments below, and I will come up with at least 1 to 3 or maybe more ideas of a challenge that you could use for that particular business, and then tell me your business and your target audience. You have to identify and tell me who your target audience is, or it's harder to do that, because if I say I've got a restaurant, You know, yeah, restaurants are hurting right now, but it depends on the kind of restaurant. It depends on who you're targeting and who your audience is. I had an Italian food manufacturing business. If you've got an Italian restaurant, I can help you in an instant to come up with lots of ideas in terms of how you would create a challenge for Italian, you know, families. Is it for families? Is it for, you know, who do you target? And then we can come up with ideas really, really quickly. So we can do that in the Q&A, but we can also just hit me up below and I will respond back with, hey, you could do this challenge, this challenge, this challenge, this challenge. And I've worked with lots of people to do that, to help them come up with, well, what can I do a challenge on? One of my favorites is a woman that just, she runs and she has really it's like a 12-month program to teach people and get people to read books to become better leaders, right? Readers are leaders. And she went through one of my challenges to get more customers, because she's like, I really want more customers coming to my program, because really I just want to stay home and read, right? She loves reading. So she wants customers and leaders that are interested in reading as a form of personal development. So we created a challenge, a 5-day challenge for her to attract more people like that. And once she knew who she wanted to attract and what she wanted to do, it was easy to attract them using a challenge. So we can think of tons of examples like that. That's it. That's all I've got today. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Tomorrow, we're going to go through the entire framework of how to set up your own results getting challenge so that you can get in days what it takes other people years to get. The A to Z, the nuts to bolts, everything you need to create your own framework and not drop your magnifying glass. That's it. Have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.